Folks, you guys know that WWE is developmental for AEW, right?
Well,
Lou,
mhm.
how many times do you got to say that before we tell you it's not funny anymore? Get new material. You're worse than John Oliver.
Welcome to TFS Final Listeners, the Feud Show podcast. This is 24/7 Lou, and that's
Rick Hard saying, "Oi, mate, you got a problem with that?"
and that's
The one-man band, and I feel like there's a conspiracy brewing.
Ooh.
Oh,
Yes, folks, so welcome to TFS Pod, from the highest mountain to the lowest valleys and everywhere in between. So we are the beast of the east, the best in the west. This is TFS Pod. Take that, other shows. So yes, in this episode we will be talking about, is WWE sabotaging AEW? Now, again, this topic came about because someone here has a theory that they're releasing people so then their payroll someone else's payroll gets bloated, and they have to release people.
someone is singular, Lou. It's at least 2/3 of the people in this chat.
Believe it.
So tell me, what is it? What are you trying to say with this? Because to explain to the folks what your theory is here with this.
Well, I think one man band can take this one.
Okay, so what I'm saying is, with WWE cutting as many people as they have over the past few years, it almost feels like now that, they used to hoard talent, and they used to pay people double the money just so they'd stay.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
Case in point, the revival they were trying to set.
Oh, yeah.
They were trying to pay them, I think, $500,000 a year for 5 years just so they could stay. And Revival said, no, forget that. We're done. And how you call it? Like, now that I see this, I'm seeing, other people getting released. Most notably, as of late, Keith Lee. Who just debuted.
We've seen who else we've seen from former WWE, now in AEW. Well, he wasn't
Adam
released.
Cole, Kyle O'Reilly. You want me to keep going?
Bobby Fish,
Rusev, Bobby Fish,
Ruby Riott,
Kyle O'Reilly.
If you really want to go back at least 7 years, CM Punk. Technically, that counts too.
Daniel Bryan wanted to leave, so I don't think he was released.
Well, he let his contract expire. Some of them were people letting their contracts expire.
Dean Ambrose, John Moxley.
Well, he let his expire too.
And got a party going away party.
Yeah. He did. I mean, here's the thing. Like, he was already, like, he said he was gone. He was like, I'm out of here. But he played it right, and he waited for his contract to expire. It expired, and he said, all right, I'm heading elsewhere. And
I think it's pretty obvious. John Moxley knew that WWE saw the Shield as the holy trinity for their main event scene in the future.
Yeah.
And I still go with this for most prior generations, when it was the Attitude Era. It was Triple H, Austin, and The Rock as the three ones that you normally saw fixed in the title position, unless or constantly in the main event scene.
Okay, yeah.
Then before that, it was Michaels, Hart, and I'm drawing a blank, but I want to see Taker. I want to say Taker maybe. And then before that, it was Hogan, Savage, and the Ultimate Warrior. It gets a little looser. The further back you go, the less concrete the evidence is. Mm-hmm. But in the modern era, it was John Cena, what was supposed to be Brock Lesnar and Randy Orton, and then they turned it into John Cena, Randy Orton, and Batista.
Yeah, sure. But now about sabotaging AEW, I think that some of they're also They're getting released, but they weren't getting treated creatively as they wanted to be treated. So.
Yeah, like this goes into what I say. And other sites have commented on this. The average age or most of their talent was on the main roster. It was in the age range of mid to late 30s, which is generally, if you look at previous time periods in wrestling, that's generally the point in a wrestler's career where they're like, hey, I should be at the top because my twilight years are getting close, if not already here. Like there's a shelf life to how much time I can put on a quality match just because time's going to catch up on me from doing this day in, day out. So a lot of people are no doubt thinking to themselves, oh, it should be my time. It should be my time. I should be running this show. I should be featured consistently in the main event because I should be making the most of my minutes, as Jim Ross used to say. And many of them didn't appreciate it. In terms of how WWE is sabotaging AEW, I think because some of these releases are just catching me by surprise, while also I'm like, maybe WWE didn't want to deal with them backstage complaining about their role on television. But I think WWE is like, yeah, just too many cooks, not enough time in the kitchen. So
I agree.
Send them all there. Not everybody can be made a star. You're gonna at some point have to give and say, hey, we can't. One, AEW can't hire everybody. That's for sure. Two, they can't make everyone a star, even if they did hire everybody, because you only have so much TV time.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, because they have the dark shows, and then they have the Rampage. But yeah, it's basically 3 hours of the TV time that you have.
Yeah, ironically, they have fewer hours of TV time. Naturally, those hours are, by many people, considered to be somewhat better quality in terms of.
I do. I call it better quality.
Yes. We've heard it. We've heard it, Lou. We know your thoughts on.
I'm waiting for you to call it better quality too.
Hey, I'm gonna be the first one to say it. WWE screwed the pooch when they didn't hire Danhausen.
Yeah.
Danhausen is the game changer in my eyes. That was like, I was like, man, they do not. Could you imagine, if you would, Danhausen in WWE having segments that are actually enjoyable with the 24/7 title? Because let's not kid ourselves. Let's not kid ourselves. He's not Intercontinental Championship material just yet, unless you really, really build towards it. Maybe he could pull off a Santino Marella.
Yeah, he could.
In the long run, I think he could. But the starting point would have been 24/7 title, and he could have made it interesting. I would have loved to see Danhausen with a 24/7 title. Just to see at its fullest potential, not just he's being chased around by people in the backstage.
Okay, go out there for a run. Go get your jogging, fellas.
He could. You know what? He would absolutely fit on that segment because he could easily do like those segments where he steals titles, like how he steals stuff. Like he'll just take it and.
Yeah, there was a segment that came out. He was talking to Lance Archer recently.
Oh, that was funny. I saw that
in the locker room, and he does the step on the bench to make himself taller, and then
Lance Archer just steps on top, and he's like,
yeah. He's like, yeah, I've seen this before. And he gives Lance Archer a title that he took from another wrestler.
Oh man!
I think it was the Butterfinger. It was the Butterfinger title. I don't know how serious
it was,
but it was just funny. And people were saying, "Oh yeah, just have that be his gimmick. Every time he's in an interview, he has someone else's title over his shoulder."
I like that.
But that's the kind of fun stuff that people enjoy. Like Jay Few, whenever he's on and off of wrestling, but whenever he talks about wrestling, he always talks about the funny segments.
Oh yeah.
So that appeals to some people. You got to have the fun factor. Not everything can be serious, but Yeah, no, WWE missed out by not getting Danhausen. That was a miss.
Yeah, but you see
Yeah, well,
now how much creative freedom would he have had?
that's the thing. I think,
Again,
yeah,
yeah, you have to change something in the culture has to change. I don't know who's the problem backstage.
I know who.
Yeah, we know what you're gonna say. We know what you're gonna say, but that's considering the stories I've heard, I don't think Vince is that out of it. I mean, from the latest rumor I'm hearing, he stopped a Seth Rollins versus Shane McMahon for the WWE title pitch from going through. He had to release his own son. I think Vince knows what people want to see because I didn't want to see that match for the championship.
Oh no,
I did not want to see that
true.
match. At a WrestleMania, no. Shane McMahon being WWE champion someday, sure, I could say for a week on their off period, kind of like Vince back in 1999.
Can we get 10 points if we ever have a championship match and we just say that Shane comes out and wins the title? Like a competitor got hurt and then he won the championship. Can we get 10 points for that? We predict that in the future.
No.
hey, come on, man.
I don't think that's fair because that's just a show end. There's no coming back from that.
Hey, come on, man.
Try to get those points, man.
Being greedy with those points, bro.
So yeah,
I mean,
I don't think.
I mean, all that does is just incentivize people to pick Shane McMahon to win if it's a championship match, no matter what. Because it's like I'm not losing those 10 points.
Now, again, to my developmental comment that you are tired of listening to. Now it looks like I've seen these guys before. They're on NXT. I've seen most of these guys on NXT doing their thing. That I'm watching on AEW now. So I don't know. I do feel bad that I want to see more of the outside and other talent that I have not seen before. That AEW did have in the beginning. Who were you guys talking about before that we haven't seen for a while?
Drew was mentioning this person on Dark.
Oh, Joey Janela.
Yeah, we haven't seen him on the main show, and I've heard he's complained about that.
Yeah, he's been complaining about that for a year and a half. I would say probably longer than that. Mm-hmm. And I feel like he's probably gone soon. I mean, he's unfortunately not, doing as great as he had hoped. And it sucks because, he's a great talent, and I just feel like he's been lost in the fold ever since other people have come through. Mm-hmm.
At least doesn't. We still have Adam Page. I mean, recently become champion since.
Oh yeah.
One of the things I want to note, Lou, is and you are right when you say this. It's because you're talking about familiarity. Mm-hmm. It's a lot easier to piggyback off of a star's current like prestige than it is to create a new star from scratch. Right. Mm-hmm. So that kind of stuff where they're like, oh, they haven't been on TV. Really, they haven't been exposed to the main audience because Dark is a thing, but the viewership compared to the weekly 8 Dynamite, probably there's some kind of difference there.
Yeah.
So there the whole he hasn't been seen by most viewers in the last year and a half. Like that's gonna play a factor versus hey, I saw this guy like wrestling in the main events at WWE like 3 months ago. What's he doing on AEW? Like he's already got prestige to roll off of, which is why when Keith Lee makes his debut on AEW, you can challenge for the TV title against Sammy Guevara like instantly.
Yeah,
that's pretty cool.
And not look out of place.
Where's Rusev? I haven't seen Rusev for a while. Where's Rusev?
You mean Miro?
Sorry. Oops, Miro.
Who cares? He's won in my book. I mean, he's got Lana.
He already won.
He already won.
No. I'm gonna say because I don't want to see old WWE match competitors fighting each other. I like seeing that Sammy Guevara, someone that's an AEW guy. I like seeing Darby Allin in matches. I like seeing Orange Cassidy in matches. You know what I mean? It's like I don't want to see WWE, former WWE versus former WWE guys on AEW.
To their credit now, I'll give AEW this. They're not letting their homegrown talent get lost in the fold. MJF, it still looks relevant in the crowd.
Young Bucks.
Adam Page, Young Bucks still got a presence on the screen. And who am I forgetting? Darby Allin still getting high profile feuds. All of that makes a difference.
Yeah.
Because you don't want your promotion to be, oh, this is just all people I used to see in WWE.
Yeah. That's the one thing that I fear that I don't want to see former WWE versus former WWE. I mean, there might be some good matches somewhere in between there, but I still want to see like that. Still, I get that fresh feeling of AEW, or someone.
Yeah, this is an AEW original, just like you want an Impact original, so like AJ Styles and that kind of stuff. I get it.
Even though I don't know about Lance Archer getting that rub, because Lance Archer just, I don't know, he wasn't a big thing on WWE to me.
No, wasn't Lance Archer from Impact?
Yeah,
before
that. He was.
Before that, nobody remembers that run. He could come back. He could come back to WWE, and Vince will say, "Tall guy, yeah, put him on the main roster." He's definitely more impressive than Almost. He can go. He can take a bump.
Well, he has more time doing it at least.
Yeah, no, yes, that's relevant and crucial to the craft.
Yeah,
you have to be able to take a finishing move.
True. So,
which is why on my debut in WWE, I want to take an F5. I don't know the context. I just want to be in the ring, wondering who my opponent is. You can have the match happen against some other scrub, and then like Brock Lesnar just interrupts and F5s.
Now,
and someone else, sure.
Did you guys watch 2 weeks ago on AEW where they had CM Punk versus MJF? It was like a 40-minute match.
The Chicago match. Chicago match?
Yeah.
And I brought this up. That event lost AEW viewers.
Wow.
In the viewership, they went down by 146,000 viewers compared to the previous week. And they went under 1 million. They went under 1 million views.
That was a 40-minute main event match. And I like the match. It just they had so many spots in there. I enjoyed that match, and I'm surprised that
I was unable to catch it. But I'm curious to know.
They even had a fan
two things.
Do a slap.
I'm assuming on MJF.
Yeah. CM Punk.
It would have been very weird. Yeah, somebody slaps CM Punk in his hometown in the crowd. I'm like, what? But I am curious who won the match, and did CM Punk look like he couldn't go after in the later half of the match? Because 40 minutes is a while to go.
Yeah, it was. It was a really long match for him. It was MJF that won it with help of Warlock giving him a ring. He punched him.
Oh, okay. So similar to the Darby Allin match.
Mm-hmm.
And curiously enough, they had the homegrown talent beat CM Punk in his first loss
in Chicago.
He's coming to AEW in Chicago. Yeah, normally WWE does that where you lose in your hometown.
Right. Yeah. So yeah, I don't know. I enjoy AEW. Can't wait to see what goes on next time on both of their shows. Because every Friday night at once SmackDown's over, going to AEW.
My main thing is, and I brought this up, they've been around for 3 years. They've had 4 world champions. Mm-hmm. 3 years, 4 world champions, half of which held the title are former WWE guys. I'm talking about Jericho and Moxley.
Mm-hmm.
So, as much as people don't like to admit this, first off, AEW doesn't have as many pay-per-views as WWE does. They do, I believe, 4 or 5 a year, not counting special dynamites.
Yeah, but
if they want to get the viewership up, I really do think this is important. maybe start getting the titles changing hand. That title changing hand a bit more often. Because that was the kind of like, hey, you got to see this. This is a title match next week. That was the kind of stuff that really lured people in back in the day.
Yeah, but you see, the thing of that is, in that it was helping build up what was Kenny Omega's run, which was amazing. If he wasn't out because he had to have surgery and everything, I mean, he lost it, but he had to have surgery. Regardless, he was on a big run there, and that
he was on a big run. He had all the titles. I remember, but really, the long-term booking of making it all circle back to Adam Page was perfect.
Yeah.
But come on, do some throwing around. I still stand by my argument that Adam Page works better as the chaser than as the champ.
Bloody as a champ.
Start getting the title shifting hands, man. Start getting that title shifting hands. Maybe not every other week, but more than once or twice a year.
Yeah.
That's my suggestion. I don't know if anybody wants to add anything else.
Oh, I agree. Just not on TFS Pod. I like where the championship's at now.
No, and One Man Band, I'm sure One Man Man will back me up on this. It is time for a new TFS Pod World Champ. This reign of terror is over, and I do not count that transitional reign by Jay Few.
Oh yeah, he was transition champion.